Failure, the key to success. Failure is not the enemy. The real enemy is quitting. Most people don't chase their dreams, not because they can't, but because they stop trying. They face failure once and convince themselves that's the end of the road. But successful people, they don't stop after one failure. They don't stop after 10 failures. They don't stop after 1,000 failures. They set their goal and say, I will do whatever it takes. They embrace failure. They learn from it. They grow because of it. Think about when you go to the gym. You don't build muscle by lifting what's easy. You push your body until it reaches failure, because that's where real growth happens. The same applies to life. Every failure is a lesson, a stepping stone to the next level of success. Successful people fail more than anyone else. They take those lessons, turn them into fuel, and use that energy to push forward. That's the secret. They don't let failure define them. You have to take risks. You have to challenge yourself beyond your comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen when you play it safe. It happens when you test your limits, push past doubts, and step into the unknown. Fail early. Fail often. Fail forward. The difference between winners and losers isn't talent or luck, it's persistence. Winners don't enjoy failing, but they never let it stop them. Think about it, where would Michael Jordan be if he was afraid of missing a shot? Where would Steve Jobs be if he let rejection stop him? Now ask yourself, do you want to be the person who's too scared to try? Or the person who's willing to fail, learn, and succeed? The choice is yours. People love to talk about how only 1% make it to the top. But do you know what else? Only 1% of people stick with their fitness goals long enough to see results. Only 1% of people practice a skill long enough to master it. Only 1% of relationships last because they put in the work. This doesn't mean you have a 1% chance of success. It means 99% of people quit too soon. So don't act like the 99%. If you want something bad enough, you will fight for it. You will fail, but you will rise stronger every time. Because failure is never final. Falling down is not the end, it's a signal that you're pushing your limits. Every time you get back up, you're stronger, smarter, and closer to your goal. So fail as many times as it takes. Because one success will outweigh them all. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they're afraid to even try. They worry about what others will think. They fear looking foolish. They choose safe over great. But what's truly safe? Living a life of regret. Watching time slip away, wondering what could have been. One day, you will run out of tomorrows. The question is, will you look back on a life of bold action, or missed opportunities? The time is now. People spend their whole lives waiting for the right time. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. Life is unpredictable. It can change in an instant. You don't control how much time you have, but you do control how you use it. Right now, some of you are hesitating to start that business, chase that dream, or take that leap, because you're afraid of failing. But let me tell you something, doing nothing is a guarantee of failure. So what do you have to lose? If you try and fail, you'll gain experience, wisdom, and resilience. But if you never try, you'll gain nothing. The people who change the world, who build legacies, who achieve greatness, they weren't afraid to fail. And neither should you. So get out there. Fall down. Get back up. And keep going until success is the only option left. And if you're still afraid of failing, let me ask you this, what's the worst that can happen? You try. You fail. You learn. You grow. That's not the end of the world, it's the beginning of something greater. Too many people let failure define them. They think one setback means they aren't good enough. But failure is not a reflection of who you are, it's a reflection of how much you're willing to push yourself. Look around you. The most successful people have failed more than you can imagine. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before she got her first book deal. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. They didn't stop. They didn't let failure crush them. They used it as fuel. That's the difference. When most people fail, they stop. Winners fail and keep moving. They use every rejection, every loss, every setback as a stepping stone to get stronger, smarter, and better. You need to get comfortable with failure. In fact, you need to chase it. Because every failure means you're one step closer to success. You weren't put on this earth to settle. You weren't born to live an average life, clocking in and out of a job you hate. Just existing instead of thriving. You were meant for more. But nobody is going to hand it to you. If you want something, you have to fight for it. You have to fail for it. You have to be willing to get knocked down and still stand back up, hungry for more. Because here's the truth. The people who achieve their dreams are not the smartest. They're not the most talented. They're just the ones who refuse to quit. And one day, when you finally make it, when you look back at all the struggles, the late nights, the pain, and the failures, you'll realize it was all worth it. You'll realize that failure wasn't your enemy. It was your greatest teacher. So go ahead. Take the leap. Make the mistake. Learn the lesson. And never, ever stop. Because the moment you stop is the moment you guarantee failure. Not the kind that teaches you, not the kind that pushes you forward, but the kind that keeps you stuck. The kind that chains you to a life of regret. Regret is heavier than failure. Regret lingers. It eats away at you in the quiet moments. In the late nights when you wonder what could have been if only you had taken that risk. So ask yourself, would you rather live with the temporary pain of failure or the lifelong pain of regret? Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they choose comfort over courage. They take the easy road, the safe path, because it requires less effort. But success is not found in safety. Success is built in the struggle. Nobody gets to the top by accident. Nobody becomes great by playing it safe. Every legend, every leader, every innovator, they all have one thing in common: they faced failure, and they kept going. And now, it's your turn. No more excuses. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more worrying about what others will think. Because at the end of the day, when the dust settles, when the noise fades, it's just you and your choices. Did you chase your dreams? Or did you let fear win? Did you take the leap, or did you stay in your comfort zone? Did you give it everything you had, or did you hold back because you were scared? Life doesn't wait. Time doesn't slow down for you. Every second that passes is one you will never get back. So don't waste another moment doubting yourself. Don't waste another day letting fear control you. Start now. Fail now. Learn now. Grow now. Because one day, you'll look back and realize this was the moment that changed everything. And if you're still sitting there, waiting for the perfect moment, let me tell you, there isn't one. Life doesn't pause for you to figure it all out. It keeps moving, with or without you. And every day you hesitate, every day you hold yourself back, is a day you'll never get back. You have a gift. You have potential. But potential means nothing if you don't act on it. So many people spend their lives wondering, what if? What if I had tried? What if I had taken that risk? What if I had believed in myself? Don't let that be you. Don't let fear keep you trapped in a life you don't love. Because here's the truth, failure is temporary. Regret is permanent. You will fail. You will struggle. You will fall flat on your face. And that's okay. Because every time you fall, you learn. Every time you fail, you grow. And every time you push forward, you get closer to where you're meant to be. That's what separates the winners from the quitters. The winners are the ones who fail but refuse to stay down. So when people doubt you, when they tell you it's impossible, when they laugh at your dreams, remember this. They are only projecting their own fears onto you. They are afraid to fail. So they tell you not to try. They are afraid of rejection, so they tell you to stay where it's safe. But you are not them. You are built for more. So go. Take that risk. Make that move. Chase that dream. Because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and success is the decision to keep going. And one day, when you look back, you won't see the failures. You'll see the lessons. You'll see the growth. You'll see the moments that made you stronger. And you'll realize, every setback, every struggle, every obstacle was worth it. So don't wait. Don't hold back. Start now. Fail now. Learn now. Because success is waiting for you on the other side of failure. I've had my fair share of failures. I've failed exams, been rejected from jobs, and faced setback after setback. I applied to over 30 jobs and got rejected from every single one. I even applied to KFC when they first opened in my city. 24 people applied, 23 got hired. I was the only one rejected. I applied to be a police officer, 5 people applied, 4 got in. I was the only one turned away. I applied to Harvard, 10 times. Rejected every single time. I knew I would get rejected. I applied anyway. Because I wanted to see what would happen if I kept trying. One of the most important things you need to understand is this: you have to fail. Failure is not the end of the road, it's a stepping stone to success. Failure is an experience that gives you wisdom. It shapes you. It builds you into someone stronger, someone better. Maybe you failed a test. Maybe you didn't make the team. Maybe you got rejected from that job you wanted so badly. But let me tell you something, the worst thing you can do is give up. Talk to your professor, ask for help, study harder. Try out for the team again, train harder. Apply for another job, learn from your mistakes. Because failure does not define you, your response to failure does. You've probably heard the story of Thomas Edison. A reporter once asked him, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? He responded, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's the mindset you need. Every failure brings you closer to success. Every rejection is just redirection. Each time you fail, you're not starting over from scratch, you're starting from experience. Think about it. If you had given up the first time you fell as a child, you'd have never learned to walk. So why do you give up on your dreams after one failure? This is your journey. And journeys are never easy. They're full of obstacles, setbacks, and moments where you feel like quitting. That's why most people never make it. Because they're not willing to endure the struggle. But you've already failed. And that's the best thing that could have happened to you. Because it means you're trying. It means you're growing. It means you're one step closer to success. So go ahead, fail again. Fail 1,000 times if you have to. Because every failure is proof that you're moving forward. And one day, when you finally succeed, you'll look back at every failure and realize, it was all worth it. People will doubt you. They will laugh at you. They will tell you it's impossible. And when you fail, they will say, I told you so. But what they don't realize is, failure is necessary. Do you know how many people love watching others fail? It makes them feel better about their own inaction. That's why the media thrives on bad news, why gossip spreads faster than inspiration. Because it's easy to point at someone else's failures instead of facing your own fears. But here's what separates winners from the rest: they don't care. They don't care how many times they fall. They don't care how many people doubt them. They don't care how many times they hear no. Because they know that every no brings them closer to a yes. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm." And that's exactly what you need to do. No matter how many times life knocks you down, get back up. No matter how many doors close in your face, knock on another one. You will fail. But every failure is a test. A test of your resilience, your dedication, your willpower. Will you let failure stop you? Or will you keep pushing forward until you succeed? There was once a man who failed the bar exam 48 times before he passed. People laughed at him. They said he was wasting his time. But on his 49th attempt, he succeeded. And now, he's a lawyer. People love to focus on the times you fail. But they never talk about the moment you finally succeed. Because that's when their opinions no longer matter. If you have a dream, fight for it. If you want something, go after it. It doesn't matter how many times you fail, how many times you get rejected, how many times you feel like giving up. Because as long as you keep going, you haven't lost. The only way you lose is if you quit. And one day, when you finally achieve what you set out to do, you'll look back and realize, every failure, every struggle, every doubt was worth it. Because in the end, success isn't given to you. It's earned. And you, my friend, are earning it every time you get back up. So go. Fail. Learn. Rise. Because your success story is waiting to be written. Failure isn't what stops most people. Fear of failure is. Most people don't chase their dreams, not because they're not capable, but because they stop at the first sign of struggle. They fail once and convince themselves they'll never make it. But let me tell you something, the most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there because they refused to quit. They didn't stop at their first failure. They didn't stop at their 10th. They didn't stop at their 100th. They kept going. They took every failure, every rejection, every disappointment, and they used it. They learned from it. They grew from it. They made adjustments. And eventually, they broke through. That's the difference between success and failure. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's persistence. If you want to achieve something great, you have to expect to fail. Over and over again. But each failure is not an ending, it's a lesson. Think about working out at the gym. You don't get stronger by lifting light weights forever. You push until your muscles fail, and that's when the real growth happens. Life works the same way. You have to get comfortable with failing. You have to seek it out. Because failure is where you grow. It's where you develop. It's where you get stronger. The people at the top. They've failed more times than most people have even tried. But here's the secret. They never stopped. If you want success, you have to be willing to fail more than everyone else. And most importantly, you can't let failure define you. It's not who you are. It's just a step in the process. The next time you face a setback, remember this: every successful person has failed. Michael Jordan missed over 9,000 shots in his career. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company. But they kept going. And because they did, they changed the world. So what's stopping you? Are you going to let one failure convince you to quit? Or are you going to learn from it, get back up, and push forward? You have a choice: let failure break you, or let it build you. The truth is, most people will never reach their full potential, not because they aren't capable, but because they give up too soon. They stop trying. They let fear dictate their decisions. But if you're willing to push past failure, if you're willing to embrace the struggle, if you're willing to do what most people won't, then you'll achieve what most people never will. Because the reality is, the only real failure is quitting. Fail 100 times, fail 1,000 times, it doesn't matter. As long as you keep getting back up, you're still in the game. One day, when you finally make it, you'll look back and realize, every failure, every struggle, every setback was worth it. Because success isn't given. It's earned. And you, my friend, are earning it every single time you refuse to give up. I've had my fair share of failures. I failed exams. I got rejected from jobs. I got turned down more times than I can count. I applied for over 30 jobs, every single one rejected me. I went to KFC when it first opened in my city, 24 people applied, 23 got hired. I was the only one rejected. I applied to be a police officer, 5 people applied, 4 got in. I was the only one turned away. I applied to Harvard 10 times. Rejected every single time. I knew I would get rejected. But I applied anyway. Because I wasn't afraid to fail. Most people think failure is the end. That it means they're not good enough. That it's a sign to stop trying. But that's not true. Failure is a sign that you're in the game. You don't fail by doing nothing, you fail by taking action. And that's what makes all the difference. Some of the most successful people in history were once considered failures. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. Walt Disney was told he had no imagination. Oprah was fired from her first TV job. But they didn't let failure define them. They didn't let rejection stop them. They used it. They got better. They kept going. And eventually, they won. So let me ask you this. Are you willing to fail? Are you willing to get rejected? To be laughed at? To be told you're not good enough? Because if you are, then you're already ahead of most people. Most people let fear of failure hold them back. They never even try. And because of that, they never win. But you're different. You know that every failure is a step forward. You know that every rejection is redirection. You know that as long as you don't quit, you can't lose. So go fail. Fail early. Fail often. Fail forward. Because failure isn't the end. It's just the beginning. And if you're still hesitating, if you're still sitting there waiting for the perfect moment, let me tell you something. There is no perfect moment. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't give you a sign when it's time to take action. It moves forward, with or without you. And every day you hesitate, every day you hold yourself back, is a day you'll never get back. You have a gift. You have potential. But potential means nothing if you don't act on it. So many people spend their lives wondering, what if? What if I had tried? What if I had taken that risk? What if I had believed in myself? Don't let that be you. Don't let fear keep you trapped in a life that you don't love. Because here's the truth, failure is temporary. Regret is permanent. You will fail. You will struggle. You will fall flat on your face. And that's okay. Because every time you fall, you learn. Every time you fail, you grow. And every time you push forward, you get closer to where you're meant to be. That's what separates the winners from the quitters. The winners are the ones who fail but refuse to stay down. So when people doubt you, when they tell you it's impossible, when they laugh at your dreams, remember this. They are only projecting their own fears onto you. They are afraid to fail. So they tell you not to try. They are afraid of rejection, so they tell you to stay where it's safe. But you are not them. You are built for more. So go. Take that risk. Make that move. Chase that dream. Because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and success is the decision to keep going. And one day, when you look back, you won't see the failures. You'll see the lessons. You'll see the growth. You'll see the moments that made you stronger. And you'll realize, every setback, every struggle, every obstacle was worth it. So don't wait. Don't hold back. Start now. Fail now. Learn now. Because success is waiting for you on the other side of failure. You've come this far. And I need you to understand something. You are already ahead of most people. Because most people don't even try. Most people live their lives avoiding failure, avoiding rejection. Avoiding the discomfort that comes with chasing something bigger than themselves. And because of that, they never grow. They stay stuck. They settle for a life that's just okay. But not you. You're here because you want something more. And let me tell you, it won't be easy. You will struggle. You will have moments where you question yourself, moments where the doubt creeps in. Moments where you feel like giving up. But those are the moments that matter the most. Because those are the moments where you have a choice. To give in to the fear, to quit like everyone else. Or to push forward. To stand up. To fight back. To keep going, even when it feels impossible. That's what separates the winners from everyone else. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the grit to keep moving, even when the odds are stacked against you. And if you can do that, if you can push through the doubt, the failures, the setbacks, then nothing can stop you. Not fear. Not rejection. Not even failure itself. Because at that point, failure is no longer your enemy. It's your fuel. So fail. Fail as many times as it takes. Because one day, all those failures will turn into success. And when that day comes, you'll look back and realize, it was never about avoiding failure. It was about refusing to let failure define you. So get up. Get out there. And make it happen. Because your time, it's now. And before you go, I want you to do one thing. Make a commitment to yourself. A commitment that no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many setbacks you face, you will keep going. Because this journey isn't just about one motivational video. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and refusing to quit, no matter what. And I want to be here with you every step of the way. So if this message hit home for you, hit that like button, not for me, but as a promise to yourself that you won't let failure stop you. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because every day, I'll be here to remind you why you started. And before you leave, drop a comment below, tell me your biggest dream, the one thing you refuse to give up on. Let's build a community of people who don't settle, who push through failure, who chase greatness, together. I believe in you. Now go out there and make it happen. See you in the next video.